Let me. Okay, it just looks better on precip mode than it does on wind mode, and that sometimes happens with these circulations. Let's go to storm track Doppler radar, the normal kind. By the way, the new tornado watch is coming out. I believe that will be east of us. I'll check on the exact locations on that in a minute. We get the information, the watch is coming out, and then we find more information on where exactly it's for after that. So there's a little bit of a time delay that goes on there. Current time is 7:59. A tornado warning continues for a few more minutes for Noxubee County with a storm near Perry Point with the potential for the production of a tornado. Back to the north and west, we are clear. We are done. We're still going to have to watch things along the leading edge of this, but at this point, it's pretty much Noxubee County would be the only location, and we're on our last storm. So the good news is, within the next 15-20 minutes, we're done with tornadoes for tonight. It's very unlikely storms redevelop. Initially, we kind of wondered if that'd be the case, but most of the forecast data we look at now, at least the last time I had an opportunity to check, most of that data indicated that that this line, as it moved away and produced all the heavy rainfall and the tornadoes and everything, as it moved away, we would not see significant storm redevelopment tonight. Depending on exactly where everything lines up tomorrow, we could have another chance, unfortunately, tomorrow in the afternoon. Probably not on the scale we had them today, but it's a situation we'll have to monitor pretty closely. I know we have new information continuing to come in, and this is just going to be my crutch phrase tonight. New information coming from our Emily Leonard and Sonia Walls.
Okay, Matt, thank you very much. Joining me right now is Sonia Walls, who also, like the majority of the WTVA crews, has been out and about. Sonia, where were you today?
I was on 45, the bypass, 78, downtown Tupelo, and also on Gloucester Street.
And what were you seeing out there?
Well, I started off on 45, 78 right after the tornado hit. Of course, the traffic was at a standstill. I talked to people who actually saw the tornado, and they said it did come onto 45.
Okay.
People said they got out of their vehicles and they went into ditches. And it's kind of scary because, you know, I saw a lot of people with children in their vehicle, and it's so scary. I don't understand. Next time, if someone tells you that it's severe weather, I don't understand why people are on the roads, because those kids could have been, you know, harmed.
Absolutely.
To that. Yeah, and then 78, you see steel beams, steel poles going across the highway. That is why, of course, the traffic is at a standstill. Downtown did not look bad to me, but Gloucester Street, as you all know, it just looks like a bomb hit the area.
Yeah.
So a lot of businesses are destroyed right now.
And I'm guessing you talked to several people.
Yeah, I talked to Mr. Vanelli. He said there were about 9 people in the restaurant at the time the tornado hit. He said one woman was injured. She had a gash on her thigh, but they all did get into the freezer and they huddled, but his restaurant, unfortunately, is destroyed.
Yeah, we've seen lots of video of Vanelli's and Outback and Steak Escape and that kind of whole area right there. I mean, really just blown away.
Yeah, you have to see it to believe it, and I know a lot of people, for some reason, there's still a lot of traffic on Gloucester. They do have that area blocked off. I guess people are trying to see the destruction. They're not going to let you on Gloucester Street, so it's no point in going out there. But you can actually see the path of the tornado. It was on the highway, it was on 78, it was on 45, and I guess it cut through Gloucester Street, and a bunch of trees are knocked down. You can see from the bridges, and I'm talking about huge steel beams are like bent in half.
Yeah, we were receiving reports that interchange 45 and 78, those large industrial size.
They're very huge, and they look like toys just thrown across the highway. And it's amazing that we hopefully do not have any fatalities today, because there's so much traffic on the highway when the tornado hit.
Well, I don't think you were in the newsroom at the time. We have received confirmation from Lee County Coroner Carolyn Green that there was one fatality, a female on Palmetto Road. Right now, though, we're not sure exactly what happened, if she was blown off the road or maybe she hydroplaned. It was a traffic accident. Yeah. And so we have received at least one fatality, several other injuries, a couple dozen people at the hospital right now, which is not surprising after everything that we've seen.
Yeah, a lot of power still out, and Gloucester Street, the area where the tornado hit, there's no light out there, so people are using their vehicles for light to help get some of the debris off the roads and off the side of the roads. So it's pretty bad out there.
All right, Sonia, thank you very much. Appreciate that, and want to reiterate once again that the curfew for Tupelo has now been move back to 8 o'clock, and I believe it is currently 8 o'clock right now. Cindy, do you have what time it is?
It
is
is
8:03. Yes, so the current time is 8:03. The curfew for City of Tupelo is in place. We talked to the Sheriff of Lee County, Jim Johnson, earlier. They are working on getting a curfew for the county as well, and as soon as we hear that, we will let everyone know. For now, the Weather Authority, they've been keeping us up to date on this changing situation. We'll keep you up to date here in the newsroom on the power situation as well as any damage or any information that comes into our newsroom. But let's go back over to Chief Meteorologist Matt Lawpond for another look at what's happening out there. Matt.
Okay, continue to have the storms moving eastward bound. That's going to be kind of one of the headlines as we finally rotate these out of the area. It's going to take me forever to get through all my pictures here on my phone. This is a picture coming in from down in Amory, and this is just a shot of one of the funnel clouds, potentially a tornado that passed very near this person's location. We had a lot of these today, and if my phone had better internet, I'd show you a whole bunch of them right now, but we're still struggling with that issue of internet connectivity. I think we're probably blessed to even have that here at the station, because not everybody is fortunate enough to be able to do that. Let's go ahead and look at our latest scans on Storm Track Doppler radar. We still showed a couple areas of rotation down toward Noxubee County. Not a whole lot, and this is really the last location where we're going to have these rotating supercell thunderstorms tonight at least. It's not impossible something develops overnight. I'm just, be perfectly honest, we haven't had enough internet to be able to double check it, and I'm going to try to do the best I can on my phone with that here in a couple of minutes. But you'd be shocked how much internet connectivity it takes to be able to make those determinations. That is, I assume, circulation there still could be just about right across into Pickens County, Alabama, just north of Memphis, Alabama. Obviously, at this point, we could bring you out a safe place if you live in Macon or Brooksville, because that circulation continues to move eastward. There is a tornado warning down just south of Noxubee County, a storm moving toward DeKalb and Scuba. I think the tornadic circulation stays south of Noxubee County, and this ends up being something covered by Meridian and Jackson. So we're not going to spend a whole lot of time talking about that. This has been a significant tornado situation. We've had numerous reports of touchdowns, including back toward Jackson as well. So it's just going to take some time. But if you're worn out and you're done watching me today, fine with that. You can go to sleep if you live in Tupelo and you're back at home and you're under curfew. You're fine. It's a little early for bedtime maybe, but nonetheless, your threat has diminished. Same for Monroe County. And finally, considering you had basically 4 chances there today, I can finally say that for Lowndes County. The strongest and most severe weather is now south and east of your location. I just want to see, that looks like a left split. Well, a left split means right split has tendency to try to produce tornado, left split, more hail heading in the direction of Starkville. I don't know if that's really producing hail, but it's not something that worries me. So all the kids down in Mississippi State, enjoy your Monday night. Yeah. So the good news is we continue to wind this down. Now, a lot of jittery nerves near Mantachie and Fulton, where we had a tornado touchdown a little earlier on today. Thunder, lightning, that's all you're worrying about on this. Stretching up toward Red Bay, Alabama, and Belmont. So significant tornado touchdowns earlier. Fortunately, our threat continues to diminish as we go into the evening. Some newsroom people, if you'll come by here in a minute, we'll have some discussion. John, get some rest. Get some rest. I'm sorry.
We'll talk about schedule.
Okay, yeah, we'll talk about, I mean, you're off, I mean, unless we have likely tornadoes tomorrow and we feel confident of that, I mean, you're off, obviously. Okay. So, I mean, take as much time as you need.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, appreciate it. A lot of dedication for a lot of hardworking people behind the scenes. You can't see most of that because obviously the camera's been on me. And the fact of the matter is we don't have enough working equipment to really show them and necessarily pop them up all the time. So I am the face of a team that has worked tirelessly today, and we appreciate you for hanging on with us as we've gone through this process. Let's still talk about this Noxubee County storm. I want to make a judgment call here if I can. So hard to work a slider in our chat here. Noxubee County radar indicated till 8:30, so we still have 20 minutes left on that. And I think they're probably going to let that one ride out until the end. Considering what's happened today, there's no reason to cancel it, even if the motion just about gets it out, because about the time one of these circulations gets sucked up and ingests, another one tries to form. But Macon, I think you're good. I think Brooksville, Crawford, you're in the all clear. You know, some of these reports of tornadoes, you know, have been significant. You know, power poles snapped, as we relayed to you a little bit ago. We're talking about around Lowndes County. 614, that was the Baptist church that was destroyed. So you can see the multiple tornado touchdowns we had just south of Columbus. This was when it was a very vigorous and violent tornado. But continue to get information of tornado damage in and around Columbus as well out of this. So I would say I feel pretty confident. I had someone just ask me on Twitter, can we sleep soundly tonight? I think so. I think so. I'm not terribly convinced that we're going to end up with additional storms that'll be strong to severe. We're going to have people monitoring all night long. The reason you haven't seen our meteorologist, Kara James, she's been at home sleeping. As hard as that is to do to sleep through this, she's in good shape. She's okay. But she's making sure that we hand off person to person later on this evening. So we'll be monitoring things throughout the overnight hours, regardless, here at WTVA. Do we have any new information coming in from the newsroom? Go ahead and find Dave, and let's just double check with him, if you would, for a moment. Okay, so tornado warning continues. Time frame for Noxubee County is about the next. We still have a tornado warning out for Noxubee County for another 20 minutes. I don't know that it's going to be continued for that long. I anticipate that it'll probably be canceled before the end. The rotation is not quite as intense as some of the rotations have been for today, but we're watching closely Memphis, Alabama toward Pickensville for that potential. If we could, I would like to re-rack that tornado video and show that again. It's not often we get the opportunity to show this, and it's an unfortunate opportunity. It's one we don't want to have. By the way, it looks as though that tornado warning for Noxubee County has been allowed to expire, or so this is the tornado video from earlier, and what you're looking at is not a tornado, but this is right before it forms. As you can see, right-hand part of your screen there, very near the Natchez Trace. So at this point, we'd be talking about West Tupelo. You know where the Natchez Trace crosses over the Main Street or so? That's probably where we're looking about now, maybe a little west of that. Hard to tell, and damage crews, or our crews are still out there looking at damage. Pop me in front of this if you can. I don't know if that's possible. But if you can, this is the point at which it grows. And here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start my stopwatch right now. Tornado on the ground, and this is not a current thing. This is as it happened. Okay? So you'll notice the tornado's been on the ground now for a few moments here. The precipitation wrapping around, we always show you that hook echo on radar. That's what this precipitation is it's wrapping around. It's the winds actually circling down from aloft and continue to strengthen. Now, you notice how big it's gotten? Remember, it was that big? We've tripled in size, and we are 30 seconds in. So it grows, and they can grow very, very quickly. You can see the clear slot. This is how the warm air can get wrapped all the way around. This is old video from earlier today of the tornado touchdown in Tupelo. But you can see how that air gets wrapped around it. That warm, humid air we had today is the fuel for this, and that's one of the things we're going to have to watch for tomorrow, is whether or not that fuel ends up being still in place and something we still have to worry about. By the way, they have canceled the first tornado watch. A new tornado watch has been set to replace it. I'm going to see if any of our counties are in it. Noxubee County is. We'll talk more about that here in a minute. So you can see now we're talking about a large tornado, and we are maybe a minute and 15 seconds into this. So a large tornado, it happens fast, and that's the reason you cannot take those seconds and decide, do I want to go or do I not want to go? You have to go to that safe place as soon as possible in order to guarantee your safety. So I'm going to step off camera again for this, and you can see the curtains in the foreground there. See, I told you I'd step off and I lied. the curtains of cloud cover wrapping back around what is obviously a very significant tornadic circulation. I mean, it's just, the only thing I can say to describe this, because I don't have anything else, it's just a helpless feeling. Like you know at this point that this is a damaging tornado. If you look really closely, it's hard to see because it's bouncing so much, but there's these little things that kind of stick up out of it as the air is being sucked up in. Those are what are called those suction vortices. When they say multiple vortex tornado, that's what we're referring to. Those suction vortices. So at this point, we're looking just about south down Gloucester. It's probably still in the Joyner neighborhood at this instant. Power flashes indicating power lines going down. One thing you'll notice is there's not a lot of lightning. The lightning in the thunderstorm is typically in a place that's somewhat removed from the tornado touchdown. This might be the point at which it's some of the most significant. See how that clear spot there increased, how you can see more there? That leads me to believe that around Gloucester, which is where we've had the main reports of damage, that's been of the greatest significance. But that's a sign of this tornado as it intensified at that point in time. Then as it continued to track eastward and northeastward, causing damage east of Gloucester, and by this point those are probably high power lines, like the high voltage power lines starting to go along 45 there. And then we start to get in the rainfall with this. We have new video coming in. Let's go ahead and show this. Tell me what I got. Okay, so this is storm video coming in from today as the thunderstorms approached. You can tell that that actually might have been as they were exiting. I believe this is probably Clayton. I've driven up and down that road enough times to know it. Tornado damage, as you can see, this was, power poles knocked down, tree limbs all over the place. The big part of the reason, it's not to be an inconvenience, but a big part of the reason this curfew has been put into place is because of all those down power lines, damage to, people's homes, and that's incredibly significant damage. I mean, that's just incredibly significant. I mean, let's hold on this if we can for a moment, and I'm going to get that cleared up on there. But I mean, it's just, is it possible for you to pause this back there from time to time? No, it's not possible to pause it? Okay. Obviously the damage, incredibly significant as it happened today. We knew we could have long track violent tornadoes, and we had them, unfortunately. Okay, from the information I have, National Weather Service has allowed the expiration of the tornado warning for Noxubee County. With that, we've concluded the weather portion, the necessary weather portion of our coverage this evening. I'll tell you right now, I need a little time to figure out what's going to happen tomorrow. I guess I could try to take you on here with me as we look at some other stuff. Do we have some news video and news information we would like to give to folks? Okay, we'll try to. Okay, give me just a second here. Okay, well, let's stick with this for a few more minutes, and let's see if I can walk you through a couple of things. So first thing I want to say is we've had numerous reports down toward Jackson that there was tornado damage as well. It's something I've mentioned on a couple occasions. I haven't really talked about it. Some of it's wind damage, like this report here. And we have an ongoing tornado situation that extends down in South Mississippi and Central Mississippi, east of Forest and Meridian, heading out in Alabama. So they'll be under tornado warnings off and on for a good chunk of the night. But tonight, I really feel pretty confident. I would have my weather radio ready. I have my weather call ready just in case you can get those alerts and wake up, and we'll have information here if it becomes an issue. But I feel pretty confident, without looking at anything in the last 7-8 hours, that we're probably going to make it most of the way through the overnight period without dealing with tornado potential. I think that'll be tomorrow afternoon. We see the heating of the day, another wave of energy moves in, and that potential for storms that could include tornadoes will increase by that point in time. One thing that makes me believe that, and we'll show this information, our risk for severe weather tomorrow. We talked about this yesterday, that we were under a moderate risk, talking about a concentration of those reports. They upgraded us earlier this afternoon to a high risk. That's since been dropped back to a moderate risk, but that risk expanded substantially from where they initially had it, was primarily North Mississippi. We've trimmed away at that because the tornado threat continues to shift back toward the south and east. And so for tomorrow, that risk for severe weather once again will include us, especially locations east of the Natchez Trace. We'll have more discussion on this maybe here in just a minute. Let's go ahead and send it over to News Desk, our Emily Leonard and Tyler Hill with some new information.
Okay, Matt, thank you very much. Once again, joining me is our Tyler Hill. Tyler shot lots of video this afternoon from around the airport, McCullough, and then West Jackson Street.
Jackson Street.
Okay, earlier we showed you the raw video. My mic's not on.
Yeah, but I can hear you somehow.
You can hear me somehow? Well, you shouldn't. There we go. Probably hear me from Tyler's. All right, there we go. Tyler Hill joining me once again. He was in the West Jackson McCullough Airport area. We showed you his raw video earlier today. This is some edited video. What are we seeing?
Yeah, so I'm hoping the edit is a little better. It's still shaky, but yeah, I mean, as you can tell, this is when I was at the airport. The clouds are starting to form, so then it kind of gets into the damage. So right now we are looking at West Jackson Street. You see a bunch of power lines down, a bunch of power poles. I was given a figure way earlier today, at least 30 of 80-foot power poles were down just across the streets. Now this is the McCullough Boulevard Area Country Club. That lady right there, she was looking for her dogs and her cat. I don't know if she ever found them. But again, in this area, this is where you see the residential home damage. I mean, that was a roof. This is another house, just totally. I mean, all you saw was the slab. This one right here, you couldn't even tell that it was a house. And again, just looking at these huge trees, the force that this tornado had. You know, firefighters, it was great. They were brought on the scene pretty quickly. Again, here's that lady.
Oh, bless her.
Crying again. She can't find her animals. She did find one, though. I do know that. This was actually her home right there.
Oh, there.
There we go.
Happy reunion there.
Yeah, she's still looking for the cat and the other dog, but again, just going back to the trees on West Jackson Street and the power poles, people crawling around them, and that's. You know, I kind of wanted to tell people, you know, myself, I was scared about walking around them. But, you know, and again, this is in the middle of the storm. This is when the tornado is coming through. I'm still at the airport. Just these heavy winds, heavy rains. I mean, I was being blown around all over the place.
Yeah, we talked to you earlier via phone before we saw any of this video, and that's all we could hear in the background was just wind.
Oh, that's it. And I was standing under a bridge, thankfully, but all this debris was just coming at me. A toilet lid actually was flying my way. So, yeah, just very powerful.
I think Matt just said, what? A toilet lid?
A toilet lid. I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess it came because, again, this bridge was near the McCullough area in the country club. So I guess the toilet lid from one of the homes that was knocked off the slab just came my way. So.
And
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Is that Country Club or the old Country Club? Is it Country Club Road?
Yes.
Okay, that'd be the old Country Club. So the Tupelo Country Club now is actually out a little farther west. Okay.
I'm sorry. The old country Club Road. The old. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Sorry.
Okay.
So it's in that area.
Okay, and you also showed a church in that video. That's St. Luke's.
That was St. Luke Methodist, and right across the street was another church, just totally just
Destroyed.
destroyed.
Yeah.
Exactly. There were quite a few churches that I saw in that area that were pretty bad.
Yeah, and let's clarify, the area that we're talking about is you know, basically from the old country club, like we were saying, all the way then over Gloucester, over to, I mean, we don't even know how far this damage is really going, but this is what we're talking about, is kind of that general vicinity in there. Here's the look at that video once again. This is, Tyler, this is incredible video. I mean, it is. And there's lightning strikes.
It was scary. That was the only shot right there on a tripod. Anything else, I was like, no, this is just, it's too crazy. And I was running around all over the place. So yeah, like you said, the old country road area, and it kind of went back towards Gloucester and then West Jackson, the Joyner area, another area that I know we've been talking about tonight that was pretty bad. There's St. Luke Methodist Church. Really, the front of it, did not get footage of the front of it, but that was really bad. Again, this lady's home just totally scattered just across McCullough Boulevard, essentially.
Yeah. All right, Tyler, thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
And I want to say once again, there is a curfew enacted right now for the city of Tupelo. That curfew began at 8 p.m. So if you're out and about, which we are urging you not to get out right now, then please get to your safe home, get to a friend's house, get somewhere, and stay there for the rest of the night. Lots of crews working on getting the power restored, but be patient. It's going to be a while before that power is restored. Also, just to pass along, a help center set up at the Bancorp South Arena. So if you are in need of help, if you really, really need some help, then you can go there. If not, please stay home. With the power outage right now, it is pitch dark. It is really dark outside right now. Now that the sun has gone down, there's no lights, no power right now. So please stay where you're at. That's the safest place for you. We've also heard that there has been a fatality related to this weather situation. We're told by the Lee County Coroner, Carolyn Green, that a woman was driving on Palmetto Road. Not sure if she hydroplaned, not sure if she was blown off the road, but it was a fatality. We're trying to get more information on that, as well as any other information. Joining me now is our Wayne Herford. We've talked to Wayne before. Wayne, what do you got for us?
Well, I just came back about 30 minutes ago from Tupelo City Hall.
Okay.
So I talked with the mayor, Northern District Public Service Commissioner Brandon Presley was there, Ward President and City Council President Nettie Davis, and Nancy Collins, the state representative. And they all had something to say about this event, of course. The mayor stressing that the city is doing all it can, and he's grateful that there were no fatalities, as far as we know, still to this point, within the city limits of Tupelo.
Right.
Although you just mentioned one in Palmetto. He did not have anything to say about that one, I'm sure, but that being in the county. Also, Commissioner Presley talked about the thousands of people who are without power right now.
Right.
And so let's take a look at what they had to say,
Okay.
and we'll come back and discuss that, I guess.
All right.
I am thankful and optimistic and praying that there is no loss of life. Our emergency responders, Tupelo Fire Department, Public Works, Tupelo Police Department, with the assistance of Park and Recreation, have gone house by house through the Joyner neighborhood, through Bel Air, through the Sharon Hills neighborhood, through the areas that were quite literally devastated by the tornado today.
As it stood at 6:30, 12,000 Tom Beebe Electric customers in Lee County were without electric service, 3,000 in Etowah County. That represents about half of Tom Beebe Electric's entire service territory and customer base. So that is a concern. At a best case scenario, it seems that about a 24-hour mark for some of those customers may be where it's going to take to get power cut back on. It may take up to 24 hours at a minimum.
We would like for all of the citizens to follow the curfew law, to abide by the rules and be real cautious, because we know someone can get injured around electrical wires and gas lines.
So there you have it. You know, I was just sitting here thinking as she was relaying that information. You know, I was in Columbus several years ago, and a similar event happened, a tornado touchdown, and I heard you say a moment ago, the eeriness of just the darkness. It's really hard to imagine, and those of us who live in this area, live in Tupelo all of our lives, probably have not seen this in our lifetime. Yeah. And so it's very, very bizarre. So I would take the advice of the officials, as you mentioned,
Right.
and try not to be out tonight if at all possible. Oh, and by the way, in this news conference, they stressed that the police, Tupelo Police, State Highway Patrol, all manner of law enforcement, if you will be out tonight to make sure that no one's breaking that curfew, as you can imagine. There's also, I am told by some people on the streets this afternoon, there is a emergency shelter set up.
Yes.
I know you stressed that earlier at the Bancorp South Arena, but there's also one set up at the Tupelo Salvation Army as well. I want to stress that too. Susan Gilbert at the Salvation Army wanted me to let people know that they have food available, and they also have a place to lay down if you need shelter tonight. And perhaps who knows how long, but she says they're open right now.
Yeah, Wayne, thank you very much.
No
Some great
problem.
information there. Appreciate it. We'll talk to you again soon. Also want to reiterate, since we were talking so much about city officials being in town, the governor is expected to be in town tomorrow to assess all of the damage that has been done. Matt, do we need to check back in with you?
Good at the moment we can.
Okay, well, that's a good sign when your meteorologist says.
We can check in real quick.
You want to check in? All
Yeah.
right. I was hoping it was a good sign that we wouldn't have to go back to you.
Yeah, I mean, right now what we're looking at is we're looking at the moisture, the dew point, and like I said earlier, we're trying to figure out exactly what we're going to contend with again for tomorrow. We don't have a lot of data back. It's still trying to pull data, and we're still in the process of getting everything working, so that takes a little time. But the fact our moisture values are down is to be expected. We've mixed out the moisture. All thunderstorms is a really, really bad way to mix things up in the atmosphere. And so that has happened. We still have the moisture that's close enough to the area that we have the potential. We'll get to deal with, unfortunately, thunderstorms again tomorrow. We have warm enough air that we'll have to track this very closely as we go toward tomorrow in the afternoon. Am I sending this back to Emily? Let's go, Emily.
All right. What do we have, Dave? Do we have anything new?
No, we are going to try and continue on.
Okay.
At 8:30, we will try and bring a news conference live from MEMA at 9 o'clock.
Okay.
I'm not sure if we can do that yet.
Great. Our news director, Dave Beach, just telling me that we're going to continue live on the air right now until at least 8:30. The Mississippi Emergency Management Association, MEMA, is in town. They are in this area. They're assessing all of the damage that's being done. We're expected to hear from them at 8:30 tonight. 9 o'clock. Okay, I'm told that it is now going to be 9 o'clock. For now, what do we need to do?
We're going back to normal programming.
Okay, for the first time in several hours, I get to say that we are going back to regular programming. Anything that comes up, we will be right here. And for now, let's just send it back to regular scheduled programming.